episode of Sci-Connect. I am Teacher Mitz, your science teacher for today. Are you now ready to learn? Let us start!
Earth is a dynamic planet. Volcanoes are one of the major mechanisms for creating new crust. They are powerful, breathtaking, and dangerous, and offer scientists an unparalleled glimpse of the Earth's interior. The Philippines is an archipelago of more than 7,100 islands. Most of these islands are of volcanic origin. The Pacific Ring of Fire that runs in the western rim of the Pacific Ocean is the most seismically active part of the Earth, typified by a belt of active volcanoes. Our country is an ideal site for any volcanic activity. It is therefore important for us to know how this natural phenomenon to reduce the risks and its effects. For this video lesson, we have the following most essential learning competencies. Number 1, describe the different types of volcanoes and volcanic eruptions. Number 2, explain what happens when volcanoes erupt. Number 3, illustrate how energy from volcanoes may be tapped for human use. For your pretest, choose the letter of the correct answer. Then write your answer in your activity notebook. Number 1, which volcanic eruption is characterized by 20-kilometer tall eruption columns? A. Phreatic, B. Plinian, C. Volcanian, D. Phreato-magmatic. Number 2, which of the following volcano has large and nearly perfect slope structure? A. Lava dome, B. Cinder cone, C. Composite cone, D. Shield volcano. Part 2, complete the chart below to show how the heat from the Earth is tapped as a source of electricity in a power plant. Part 3, explain what happens when volcanoes erupt. Trivia about Philippine volcanoes. Can you identify it? This volcano has been inactive for almost 600 years. Its most recent eruption happened in 1991. The eruption was the second largest volcanic eruption of the 20th century. A lake was formed in the crater after its destructive eruption. It is Mount Pinatubo. The second one has 47 craters. It is the Philippines' second most active volcano, one of the world's smallest volcano. Tawilis can only be found in its volcanic lake, Taal volcano. This volcano is located in Calayan, Cagayan province. It erupted 6 times. Its last eruption was in 1924. It is also known as Mount Babuyan, Smith volcano. It has 26 historical eruptions. It has 2 craters. The active one is known as Lugod crater. It is part of Negros volcanic belt, Mount Canlaon. It is an active stratovolcano. Its first eruption recorded in 1616, declared as a national park on July 20, 1938, and was renamed as Natural Park in 2020. It has 50 eruptions. Mount Mayon. Activity 1, Volcanic Web. Directions. Based on the picture in Figure 1, give at least 5 characteristics of a volcano. Present your answer in a concept map as shown in Figure 2, concept map of a volcano. Activity 2, active or inactive. Directions, use the data in the table below to answer the guide questions that follow. Table 1, volcanoes in the Philippines and its historical eruptions. Guide questions. Number 1, are all volcanoes found in the same location? Number 2, which of the volcanoes had the most number of eruptions? Least number of eruptions? No record of eruptions. Number 3, how will you classify the volcanoes that have records of eruptions? Number 4, how will you classify volcanoes with no record of eruption? And number 5, in your own words, differentiate an active volcano from an inactive one. Let's have the classification of volcanoes according to its record of eruption. Books have adopted a system where the Philippine volcanoes can be classified as active or inactive. Active volcanoes are those that have a record of eruption within the last 600 years or those that erupted 10,000 years ago based on analysis of their materials. Inactive volcanoes, on the other hand, are those that have not erupted for the last 10,000 years and their physical form is being changed by agents of weathering and erosion through formation of deep and long gullies. Example of active volcanoes are Musuan in Bukidnon, Mayon in Albay, Pinatubo in Zambales, Taal in Batangas, Hibok-Hibok in Camiguin, Smith in Cagayan, Bulusan in Sorsogon, and Canlaon in Negros. Inactive volcanoes are Bulungaw in Pangasinan, Pinukis in Zamboanga, Batulao in Batangas, and Malipunyo Mountain Range in Luzon. Let's have activity number 3, volcanic shapes. Directions, match the term with its corresponding picture based on the descriptions given by writing the appropriate letter in the space provided in the first column. Then on the second column, we have the description. The third column, we have the pictures of the volcano. Types of volcanoes based on shape. We have the shield volcanoes, where a volcano produces low viscosity, running lava spreads far from the source, forming a volcano with gentle slopes. This type is called a shield volcano. Most shield volcanoes are formed of fluid basaltic lava flows. Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa are shield volcanoes. They are the world's largest active volcanoes, rising over 9 kilometers above the seafloor around the island of Hawaii. The second one is a composite cone volcano. Composite cones or stratovolcanoes are large, nearly perfect slope structure formed from alternate solidification of both lava and pyroclastic deposits. One perfect example of this type of cone is our Mayon volcano. The cinder cone volcano is built from ejected lava fragments. They have a steep slope and a wide crater. One example of this type is the Paricutin volcano in Mexico. Let's proceed to activity number 4, volcanic eruptions. Directions, based on the structures and shapes of the following volcanoes, which of the following statements would best describe their eruption? Write the letter of the answer on the corresponding blank spaces. So we have the name and the picture of the volcanoes in the first column, and we have the descriptions on the second column. Types of volcanic eruptions. We have phreatic eruption. This is also known as steam blast eruption, which is a steam-driven eruption as hot rocks come in contact with water. It is generally a weak eruption, and Taal volcano exhibits phreatic eruption. Phreatomagmatic eruption, a violent eruption caused by contact between water and magma. This is characterized by large columns of very fine ash with an emission of high-speed pyroclastics called base surges. Plinian eruption. This is the most powerful type of eruption. Explosive ejection of viscous lava and continuous large gas blasts. It ejects large volumes of volcanic rocks. The 1991 Pinatubo eruption is a Plinian eruption. Strombolian eruption, a periodic weak to violent eruption characterized by fountain lava. This type of eruption blasts fragments of rock into high altitudes. Eruptions can last up to a few years. The eruption of the Paricutin volcano is a Strombolian eruption which lasted from 1943 to 1952. Volcanian eruption is characterized by ash-filled explosions, as ash columns can reach a height of 20 kilometers. Pyroclastic flows usually occur after this type of eruption. The 2014 eruption of Sakurajima volcano is an example of a volcanian eruption. Let's have activity 5 under pressure. You will be needing the following materials: 2 identical small basins, 2 200 milliliter plastic bottled soft drinks. It must be sealed before using cold and hot water. Procedure number 1. Half fill basin A with hot water and basin B with cold water. Number 2, put 1 bottled soda in basin A and another one in basin B. Wait for 3 minutes. Number 3, slowly unscrew the caps from the bottle in each basin and observe. Guide questions. Number 1, what did you observe in each bottle? Then you explain your observation. Number 3, in the activity, you have seen the effect of temperature on the amount of gas that can be produced in a liquid. How does this affect the pressure inside the bottle? What is the role of pressure in the setup? Why do volcanoes erupt? Magma inside the volcano has high temperature. As the magma is continuously heated, it goes up. As it rises, gas bubbles are developed. The gas bubbles are trapped and expanded, causing the molten material to swell also, resulting in a gradual increase in pressure within the volcano. When the pressure exceeds the strength of the overlying rock, fracturing occurs. The resulting breaks lead to a further drop in confining pressure, which in turn causes even more gas bubbles to form. Lava may appear to be the primary material ejected from a volcano, but this is not always the case. Aside from lava, broken rocks, lava bumps, fine ash, and dust are also ejected. To further understand, refer to the picture in this slide and answer the guide questions. How do volcanoes erupt? High temperature and pressure cause solid rock to liquefy into magma. Once a large body of magma has collected, it rises through denser rock layers to the surface. The magma flows through the central vent and explodes from the crater at the surface. Then ash, rock, and lava propel from the opening and into the atmosphere. We have the guide questions for analysis. 1. What is the effect of temperature and pressure to the materials within the volcano? Then what happens within a volcano when it erupts? Geothermal energy. If you were to dig a big hole straight down into the earth, you would notice the temperature getting warmer the deeper you go. That's because the inside of the earth is full of heat. This heat is called geothermal energy. People can capture geothermal energy through: first, geothermal power plants, which use heat from deep inside the earth to generate steam to make electricity. Second, geothermal heat pumps, which tap into heat close to the earth's surface to heat water or provide heat for buildings. At a geothermal power plant, wells are drilled 1 or 2 miles deep into the earth to pump steam or hot water to the surface. You are most likely to find one of these power plants in an area that has a lot of hot springs, geysers, or volcanic activity, because these are places where the earth is particularly hot just below the surface. An example of a geothermal power plant in the Philippines is the Tiwi Geothermal Power Plant in Albay. How geothermal power plants work? Number 1, hot water is pumped from deep underground through a well under high pressure. Number 2, when the water reaches the surface, the pressure is dropped, which causes the water to turn into steam. Number 3, the steam spins a turbine which is connected to a generator that produces electricity. Number 4, the steam cools off in a cooling tower and condenses back to water. Number 5, the cooled water is pumped back into the earth to begin the new process. Guide questions. The largest geothermal power plant in the Philippines is in Tiwi, Albay. How will you associate it with the presence of active volcanoes in the region? Number 2, use a flow chart to describe how energy is transformed to generate electricity in a geothermal power plant. For your post-test, choose the letter of the correct answer, then write it in your activity notebook. Number 1, which volcanic eruption is characterized by 20-kilometer tall eruption columns? A. Phreatic, B. Plinian, C. Volcanian, D. Phreatomagmatic. Number 2, which of the following volcano has large and nearly perfect slope structure? A. Lava dome, B. Cinder cone, C. Composite cone, and D. Shield volcano. Part 2, complete the chart below to show how the heat from the earth is tapped as a source of electricity in power plant. Part 3, explain what happens when volcanoes erupt. That ends our video lesson on volcanoes. Thank you for your participation.
Congratulations, learners, for finishing the video lesson. I hope you enjoyed learning with me today. Remember, learning is fun with Sci-Connect.